Good afternoon. This is Clark Neighbors with BIS Commodities in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, with your market recap for the week of January 20, 2017, Inauguration Day. Pretty solid week for the grains. Solid upticks, fund-related moves, and we think that's the main inflow story of commodity funds, as we've seen the funds get up to, probably after the last couple of days, about 150,000 contracts long, and now to neutral on, close to neutral on the corn is the anticipation. And the last time the funds were long corn was way back last summer. So kind of in recap for the week, corn up 12 cents. Keep in mind this highest corn has been not only in the March futures but on a continuation basis since the middle of July. Pretty impressive. Actually, we're up almost 70 cents since the low on the corn market right around late August, early September. And we closed on the highs for the week, so pretty solid week in that regard. Beans are up 21 cents in the week. That's up over 70 cents in the last 2 weeks. I would make a strong argument the reason you're seeing strength in the corn is it's been led by the bean market, and the bean-corn ratio has been very much out of whack and continues to be very strongly in favor of soybeans. Wheat up 2 cents in the week. So with this stronger market this week, it did bring on early in the week some heavy movement in beans. As the week wore on, there was more movement in the corn market out of the country. But in both regards, basis looks to be weaker because of this movement. In some cases, bean basis is down in a 10 to maybe as much as 20 cents in the last 2 weeks. Corn basis had seen some weakness. Now the argument going forward, we're going to continue to see good export numbers as we did this week. Solid corn number of 1.3 million metric ton, just shy of a million metric ton of the beans. So solid exports continue to help support the demand side of the trade. But again, as we talked about earlier, the fund or the money movement into the ags has been impressive. We're also seeing a big long in the cattle market with about 105,000 in length, and a fair amount in the hog market, about 56,000 contracts. In the cattle, at 105,000 in length represents about 25% of open interest. Getting back to the grains, basis-wise, as I mentioned, has seen some weakness based on this movement, and we'll see going forward. As we know, it's not a long time till spring. There's going to be some grain movement in that time frame. There's a lot of corn on the farm and also in the farmer's hands. So a good rule of thumb right now is the farmer has sold a pretty big percentage of soybeans, old crop soybeans, has not sold a big percentage of corn at this point. So the commercial owns a lot of the soybeans, farmer owns a lot of the corn. We'll see how that plays out. New crop numbers bear watching. From this point forward, D's corn closed tonight at $3.96. We haven't breached the $4 area since last summer. I think once you get above $4, new crop sales are going to be a little more prevalent. Beans at $10.30. The bean to corn ratio in new crop right now is at one of the highest it's been in years, especially for this time of year. With that ratio and doing some surveys in the country, there's some analysts out talking now somewhere in the range of 4 to 5 million more acres of beans this coming spring. If that were to occur and you lost about that much out of the corn, keep in mind some of those acres will come out of wheat. The U.S. may be planting as many soybeans as corn, or give or take, for the first time since the early 80s. So that'd be interesting if that were to occur. So if you want to visit a little bit about new crop sales, please call the office. We have some thoughts on how to maybe handle new crop bean sales and whether this is a good time to sell some corn, or are you better waiting to the spring, summertime, where we see a more seasonal market where sometimes the weather can give you some opportunities. So give us a call if you want to visit on that. Lastly, just a quick couple notes on the cash market and the cattle. Up over $1 this week. Pretty solid week in the cattle, as we mentioned. Futures were up over $1 this week also. There is a seasonal for the cattle market to continue to go higher from now into the month of February. So some pretty positive things all in all right now in the ag sector, from commodity funds to some fundamental things that are keeping the market well supported. Obviously, the dollar is going to be watched closely next week with the new administration and some of the agenda that the new administration may have. Let's see how that affects the dollar going forward, not only that of the stock market. So some interesting questions going forward. With that, wish everyone a great weekend. This has been Clark Neighbors with BIS Commodities at Cedar Rapids, Iowa. If you'd like to visit with us, phone number is 800-373-2525 or biscommodities.com. Have a great weekend.